What's up, Lincoln sports fans, and welcome to the Sports Zone. I'm TJ Tilford.
And I'm Demaya Jones. Hey TJ, how's your day going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Hey Demaya, it's getting really cold outside.
Yes, it is, but our hockey team is starting to heat up in the ice rink.
Yes, they are, and that's today's main event. Our boys hockey team is off to a hot 3-1 start to their season.
They skated to a 4-1 victory over Bishop Watterson this past Friday. Ian Powell and TJ Tilford have the highlights.
Lions, Eagles, but not the ones from across the border, an Ohio high school matchup on the ice. Late in the first period, Lions up 2-0 when senior Sam Heckathorn glides across the ice and scores his second goal of the night, extending Gahanna's lead to 3-0.
On to the second period, Lions still holding on to the lead when Lincoln sophomore Alex Dejanov gets his first ever varsity goal. Lions up 4-0.
We pick it up in the final period, Lions up 4-1, when a shoving match breaks out. The officials have to separate them before this game turns sour.
Late in the third period, when Dominic Cachillo puts a shifty move on the goalkeeper and powers the puck into the net to put this game on ice, the Gahanna lead now 5-1.
The Lions close out the game 5-1, freezing the Eagles in their tracks and extending their record to 3-1. We caught up with Sam Heckathorn and Alex Dejanov after the game.
We won out 200-foot game, back check, forecheck, paycheck, and a lot of goals. Most goals we scored this year so far. So, I mean, we're just looking forward to that. We keep that momentum through, and we should be good next weekend.
We forechecked pretty well. We got pucks in deep. I feel like we could have gotten more shots on net, but yeah, we did good defensively. Our defense really stepped up.
Congrats, guys. Now let's turn our attention to the boys basketball team. The Lions are looking to have a bounce-back season. On Saturday, the boys basketball team hosted a scrimmage charity event against Findlay. All the proceeds raised from the scrimmage went to the Ohio High School Foundation charity. Here's Coach Stibe to tell us more.
Yeah, tonight's game is called a foundation game, and it all started years ago with Ohio High School. They gave teams in Ohio like a dress rehearsal game, and proceeds from that, people would come in and just donate to get in, would go to the Ohio High School Foundation charity. And anything left over can go to a local charity as well. So it's just an opportunity to play for a good cause and sort of get a extra dress rehearsal game.
Thanks. Hey, Demaya, you go to the basketball games, right?
Of course I do. I'm a cheerleader, so I'm at every game.
So then you must be familiar with head coach Mr. Stibe.
Yeah, and I also have him as a teacher. As a matter of fact, I'm in one of his last history classes that he'll ever teach. That's right, Mr. Stibe is sadly retiring from teaching.
Here's Graham Triplett with the story.
With the basketball season quickly approaching, the boys varsity team is working hard to get up to game speed so they can come out strong. They've been putting in the hours after school to get better and perfecting their craft. However, the mastermind behind the team's success, head coach Mr. Stibe, has more than just basketball to keep in mind.
23 years at Gahanna, I hope that's right, it's right around there. I've been teaching and coaching ever since I first started back in 1990, so this is year 35 for me teaching.
Mr. Stibe, definitely the most enthusiastic out of anybody that I have. Every day he just starts off new, finds a engaging way and exciting way to start the class off, and he really just makes you want to be there, and that's what I like about him as a teacher.
This being Mr. Stibe's 35th year of teaching and 23rd year of coaching, it's safe to say he knows what he's doing. He's helped develop elite Division I basketball players such as Juan Simmons and Sean Jones. However, this season will mean a little bit more to Coach Stibe, since he has decided to retire from teaching at Gahanna Lincoln.
I would say I'm ready. You know, I've had a great career. I've really enjoyed it. Had great relationships and kids in class, thousands of them. You know, I have to go back and count. But, you know, it's always a tough decision, you know, to move on. But I think I'm ready.
Yeah, it's sad. I wish that, you know, some of my younger friends could have had him, because he does make a good impact. He really makes you want to get up and work hard in school, because it's just his impact is just so great, and so it does make me a little sad that he is leaving.
Although it was a hard choice, Mr. Stibe's teaching career is over. However, students will still be able to see him in the building occasionally. That is because he has decided to stay and coach, although he is retiring from teaching. But one must wonder, why not fully retire from coaching too?
Oh, I still enjoy coaching. Still have a passion for it, the energy for it. I'd like to give it a try, sort of not teaching and just coming in later in the day and coach. And
I think it just shows him as a person that he really cares about his guys, that he cares about the sport itself, and he wants to give his guys 100% effort as long as he can while coaching. I think he's done that while teaching, and he's going to try and continue to do that while coaching and just give his guys the best effort possible.
With Mr. Stipe's retirement from teaching, the school will certainly feel his loss. He's been at the core of Gahanna-Lincoln High School for as long as he's been here. But that begs the question, will the team look any different without Mr. Stipe in the building on the daily?
I'm going to have to find a way to make sure I have that bond. I'm sure I'll be getting in here, prior to practice and talking to teachers and kids and stuff. But that's sort of a new chapter that I'll have to sort of, tackle that as we go.
I think it might give him a different sense of he can maybe focus more on coaching, and it can give him more time to think of just different things coaching-wise, different schemes and stuff like that, and just help us become a better team and really win more games.
With or without Mr. Stipe in the building, Gahanna basketball will remain well coached and strong as long as Mr. Stipe is head coach. It takes a strong leader and a dedicated person to be able to lead a Division I varsity team while not being present at school. But luckily for Gahanna, the well-built program has Mr. Stipe. This is Graham Triplett in the Zone.
Over the past few weeks, we've been bringing you a preview of all our winter sports teams.
And we want to continue that today with a look at girls basketball, girls swimming, boys swimming, and girls wrestling. So here are some winter sports previews. The girls basketball season is underway. They got their first win Sunday over Middletown, 66-49. They are looking to improve on last year's record. After winning 4 straight OCC championships, the girls finished with a 9-14 record last year. They lost 4 seniors but have been working hard in the offseason, and it appears to be paying off. We asked Kaylee Jackson and singer Megan Chrysler about their goals for the season.
I think our culture is way better than it was last year. Practice is definitely hard, which is good because it's preparing us for games. I think our goal is to win OCC and to maybe make it onto districts.
So right now we're just getting ready for our first game, and right now practice hasn't been nothing crazy. Yes, it's gonna be a little harsh, but right now we're focusing on plays and just being ready for the team we're coming up to. Honestly, the season I feel like we'll be better than last year. We have a better team, the chemistry's there, and hopefully we just go farther than last year.
Hey, look who we have in the studio today with us. It's everyone's favorite, Andrew Byers. How's it going today, Andrew?
It's going good.
Tell us about our swim teams.
The girls swim team had an outstanding season being OCC champs. Last year, Aubrey Braceno beat her own record from sophomore year with a 23.88 record and 53 at districts. But not only that, they won a 400 free relay, which got Campbell Payton and Aubrey Braceno to be entered into a swim-off, winning 8th place. Hopefully the girls, their season can continue being OCC champs. Their dedication and training this season has been paying off. That is why we talked to Kiki Miller to hear how they've been continuing the legacy of being OCC champs.
Last year we were OCC championships, so we're really hoping we can win again. And we also had a lot of district qualifiers, and we placed pretty high. We also had some record breakers by Aubrey Braceno and Josh Regular, so we're hoping that we can just maintain the good swimming. And we're really hoping that we can win again, and we're hoping that the boys can be OCC championships this year. I was also really excited. I am really excited to go back to district. Our goal this year is to be back-to-back OCC champions, and then also have more district qualifiers, and also make our relays further in states. Maybe also break some more records, depending on what it is.
Thanks. The boys swim team is looking to have another strong year this year. Last year they finished 3rd at OCCs behind New Albany and Pickerington North. They had 10 district qualifiers and 4 state qualifiers, highlighted by the 200 medley relay, which finished 20th. Also, Josh Riegler, who finished 15th in the 100 backstroke and 17th in the 100 butterfly. We talked with junior Brendan Miller to hear how they've been preparing for the season.
Last year we had a ton of district qualifiers and about 4 state qualifiers go to states. We're really looking forward to build off of last year, and we've been training a lot in the pool. We've been putting in a ton of hours and a ton of effort. We've been practicing. Our practices are slowly starting to get harder and harder. We're adding a lot more all-out, a lot more IM work, a lot more stroke work, and a lot more individual technique work. And we're starting to ramp up our overall practice effort, along with the strokes that we're doing.
That's a look at swimming. Now sending it back to Demaya and TJ at the sports desk.
Girls wrestling has been working hard these past few months to get their season started. As we get closer to their first meet, some of the returning girls have some new goals. Our Cassie Arvisu talked to the state qualifier Jordan Mills and asked about their upcoming season.
Thanks. I'm here with Jordan Mills. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm doing good.
And you got your season coming up, so what are some goals that you have?
One of my big goals has been to make it back to states in the shot and to just have a fun time with my team.
What have you done to get ready for this season?
We've spent a lot of summer and fall conditioning here at the school, and me personally, I run cross country to help prepare myself.
And then do you plan on taking wrestling after high school and college?
I mostly plan on doing lacrosse in college, but I might do wrestling too if that's possible.
Thanks. Let's send it back to the sports desk.
Our boys wrestling team started practicing last weekend, and last weekend they also had their first scrimmage. Our Josue Calindo spoke to Kellen Rachel to see how they are preparing for tournaments and their season to come.
Thanks, guys. Today I'm here with Kellen Rachel. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. So how do you feel about your match today?
I feel it was pretty good. Just seeing the improvement from last year, and I think it's good for me getting out here practicing with these other schools.
Yeah, you look pretty good out there. I was watching you. You did really good. How is your team and you guys preparing for the season and the tournaments? How is that going to work out for you guys?
It's going to work out pretty good. We're getting out here with other schools, doing these scrimmages, practicing, wrestling different guys. Because, once you get out and wrestle different guys, you learn new moves. You learn how to push the pace a little bit, and overall just make you a better wrestler.
That's good. And what goals do you want to achieve by the end of the season?
For the team, I just really want to be OCC champs. We were 3 matches short last season, so I want to come back and get revenge for that. And for my personal goals, I want to qualify for districts and maybe even state.
That's good. You guys look really good out there, and you're all working really hard. Did you say you grow ever since freshman year as a wrestler?
Oh yeah, definitely. Coming out here today and wrestling these other guys, I really saw how I was able to push the pace more. Using the moves that we're learning here in practice to incorporate into my wrestling, and definitely way better than I was last year.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good season, Kellen. Back to you guys.
Thanks. Hey, TJ, I think we have another person with us in the studio today.
Yep, we have Owen Dominac. Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. What do you have for us?
Well, the athletes at Gahanna Lincoln High School dedicate countless hours of hard work to their respective programs every year. But while some athletes get a break after their fall seasons, others jump right back into another season in the winter. I wanted to know how difficult it is to go from one sport right to the next. Here's my story.
Most young athletes are taught by their parents that playing 2 sports is good to develop your muscles, skills, and ways of thinking. But in recent years, it has become more and more popular for athletes to do just one sport. Although this is now a trend, there's Gahanna Lincoln athletes who still dedicate their time to 2 sports in back-to-back seasons and receive benefits translating from sport to sport.
I think the aggressiveness, the natural, the nature of the sport, the aggressive nature of the sport, it helps me with definitely football a lot. That's why I've been able to get out here and compete.
Even with sports that don't relate like football and wrestling, there are still benefits of being a 2-sport athlete.
I think soccer helps me with my stamina. It's not really that hard to transition from basketball or soccer to basketball.
The ability to transfer my skills from the 2 different sports really benefits me in both of them.
One of the most difficult things about being a 2-sport athlete is balancing both sports and not becoming rusty. But these athletes have become accustomed to distributing their time effectively.
On the weekends, I get some shots up and so far, be rusty going to my next sport. Just getting shots up every once in a while. On the weekends, if I'm free, I'll come shoot basketball. Soccer, I still practice throughout the week.
Make sure you're dividing your time up well and staying consistent in both sports.
Switching seasons so fast might overwhelm most high schoolers, especially with the change of scenery, but it is a second nature to some.
I think it's pretty easy switching seasons. Going from hanging out with all the football guys to the wrestling guys, it's a little bit of a personality switch, but other than that, I really love it. Both these both the two different locker rooms I'm with. You know, it's great. There's some challenges in there, but not real different.
Others find some challenge in this, but still come into the new season with determination and a positive outlook.
There's obviously a difference between soccer conditioning and basketball conditioning, but it's not really that hard, just finding your shot in basketball.
It can be slightly difficult, especially when you're starting out the new season. But I mean, some aspects of each sport can help you begin and really help you throughout the rest of the season.
Being an athlete playing in back-to-back seasons is not easy, but the commitment from these young adults is what makes a good competitor, athlete, and hard worker. This is Owen Dominic in The Zone.
Football season is in full swing, and college football rivalry week is coming up, along with the NFL being in the thick of their season. Our Tanner Southern hosts this week's Outside Zone to give some college football playoff predictions and some NFL hot takes. Here's this week's Outside Zone.
Thanks, guys. Our first topic today is the college football playoff and how it's changing every single week. What do you think about it, Will?
Right now, I think it's really crazy. We've had many teams be in the playoffs right now and get out or be put out, like BYU. BYU had a bye week this past week and then lost to an unranked team, and now they are, I think, the 12th seed, which gets them in, but barely. Now they have Boise State in a bye week. I think it's going really crazy right now.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be an interesting year because, you know, this is the first year they've done a 12-team playoff. And you got this 12-team playoff bracket. It's being dominated by Big Ten teams and SEC teams. I mean, pretty much every single SEC team that has 2 losses is going to make the playoffs, whereas these other divisions, you got Army right now who's undefeated, and they're not in the playoffs. So I just think it's interesting how that's going to work.
Yeah, but don't you think with the 12-team playoff, like with the 4-team playoff, it was completely dominated by Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair argument.
So, I mean, I feel like it was going to be that way anyway, but with the 12-team, it helps us to get more like group of 5 teams in.
Yeah, you're just going to see more variety of teams.
I think it gives them the chance, especially like Army, who doesn't normally get in and never gets that attention when they're especially 10-0 and they have Notre Dame coming up.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Well, I think definitely if they beat Notre Dame, then they're in.
Oh, they have to be. Unless they lose their last week of the season to Navy, I think they have to be in.
Even if they lose to Navy, because that's a rivalry game, so they're going to look at that differently. But if they beat Notre Dame, I think they should be in.
What do you think about that, Graham?
Yeah, I think if they beat Notre Dame, I think they should be in, at least as a 10, 11, 12 seed.
I think that's fair.
What do you guys think about the top 4 seeds coming from the conferences? Like, it's probably going to be, you know, the Big Ten champion gets the 1 seed, or the SEC champion gets the 1 seed, 2 seed. But then with the Big 12, like, do we think that a Big 12 or like an ACC team should be able to get those top 4 seeds if they have a worse record just because they're conference champion?
No.
I think I do, because those teams, I mean, we don't see normally them before the 12-team playoff bracket. There was the 4 teams, and it was just SEC teams and Big Ten. I think it gives them a chance. Colorado's going to get their chance this year. They're ranked, and they're getting up. They're pretty good. They're 8-2. I think they're the best team in the Big 12, and I think they got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if you win your conference, it should affect like where you are. I think it's just your strength of schedule and who you beat. Like, you know, you can have this title of conference champs, but really it's just who you've beaten.
Well, okay, but to that thought, if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship, do you not think that should give them above Alabama, even though Alabama beat them in the regular season?
Well, I mean, I'd say like puts them about equal because I mean they both split the game. They split the series.
So you think it doesn't matter when the win happens? It just matters what the head-to-head record is.
Yeah.
Well, I think that can happen because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen between Oregon and Ohio State during the Big Ten championship. Because what are they going to do if they play and Ohio State wins this game? Are they going to put Ohio State above Oregon or Oregon?
Well, I mean,
above
you can also
Ohio
look at the amount of points each team puts up in that game. Like if if it's 2 close games, it's obviously they're about the same skill level. But I mean, if one team blows the other team out like the first time and then it's a close game the second time, it just shows you who the better team is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Moving on, our next topic is NFL hot takes. Graham, I think you want to get us started.
You know, I think mine isn't as much of a hot take, but I think Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league right now. Because, you know, you got him, Derrick Henry, maybe even Alvin Kamara, but Derrick Henry and Saquon are about tied right now for rushing yards. But Saquon, you know, he was on the Giants. He was getting held back so much, and he came back this year on the Eagles. He's surrounded by a great team. Jalen Hurts, you know, other great receivers. Saquon, he can also catch the ball. You know, Derrick Henry, mostly a runner, so he's the best running back in the league, in my opinion.
Okay. My hot take is that the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I think they have the best defense in the league. They have officially a wide receiver 1, even though their wide receiver 2 is a little shaky. They got a good running back. Russell Wilson is not carrying this team, but he's making an impact on this team, making this team look good on offense. They're averaging a lot of points. They're not giving up a lot of points. They got a shot at the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Okay, while you're on that, do you think Russell Wilson is better than Justin Fields for the Steelers?
Yes, because they actually have a more offensive attack.
He's Mr. Unlimited, man.
All right, Steelers country, let's ride.
Mr. Unlimited. All right.
And to end it off, my hot take is that Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the league. Look, he's already done everything he needs to do for accolades. He's won MVP awards. He's won Super Bowl MVP. You know, he's won Super Bowls. He's literally doing what they need him to do to win. He doesn't have to go out and do all these crazy plays like he always has. He just has to do enough so that the Chiefs can win.
That's not a bad take. Even though I would have a Lamar over him.
Yeah.
I still think you can make an argument for Patrick Mahomes.
I'd say Patrick Mahomes is getting brought up by the rest of his team, whereas like Lamar and Derrick Henry, they're just like, I don't know, Lamar's skill level is just so much higher than
I
Patrick
agree
Mahomes.
with that.
Lamar Jackson he's so fast, man. He can scramble, he can throw.
I feel like once we get to the playoffs, or even just down the stretch in the season, I feel like once we get there, we're going to see, you know, our MVP for Patrick Mahomes. But right now, you know, what he's doing is working. I mean, best record in the league, so.
Yeah, not anymore.
That's all we have. Back to the sports desk.
Thanks. Well, that's all for me. Now I'll send it back to TJ and Demaya at the sports desk.
Thanks, Owen. Well, Lincoln sports fans, that's all we have for today's show.
We'll be back after Thanksgiving break for more sports coverage.
Good luck to all our athletes competing over break, and go Lions!